Hollow Knight Silksong. This game has a parry, so it makes it into parry review. So this is the skill that allows you to parry. It's called cross stitch. If you're a speedrunner, you can get this within 43 minutes. However, if you're just doing a casual playthrough, good luck. It's gonna take a while before you get the parry in this game. Like 8 hours. It might take you 8 hours if you don't know what you're doing. Just honestly, YouTube it, look for a video. I'm not gonna make a tutorial on how to get the actual parry in this game, because that's how long it takes. However, if you use like a speedrun on YouTube, then you can like use that to route a path on how to get the parry within like 40 minutes to an hour. But you're actually ruining the game for yourself if you do that. And this is the part of the video in which we get into the actual review of this game. So there is the regular clash attack thing that works more like a block that comes back from the previous game. You could do this in the original Hollow Knight, where if you attack an enemy's attack, you negate damage. Time kind of stops for a little while. And if you successfully attack your enemy's attack, then you'll successfully like parry. But it works more like a block because you do not gain any silk. The enemy doesn't take damage. It's just more like a block. And more than anything, it's useful for like really difficult boss fights or like enemy attacks that are highly annoying and difficult to dodge. Other than that, you will rarely be clashing on purpose in this game. And then there's the actual parry, which is the skill I showed you in the skill menu in the beginning of the video. It's a skill that requires silk, but if you successfully do it, you will counterattack the enemy with a sort of like Virgil 1000 cuts type of attack. It's pretty cool that the game has this. However, at base silk is your magic meter. You can only use it like once or twice, so don't think that you're gonna be like spamming parry in this game. So for the record, the light attack clash is called the clash, and then the skill that allows you to parry, the cross stitch, I'm gonna call that the parry. So on the parry metric, let's give Hollow Knight like a 6 out of 10. And now let's get into the fun and enjoyment scale and the actual review of this game. So games like Hollow Knight, which are metroidvanias, do not normally belong on parry reviews. Not for any selfish reason or anything, is that games like metroidvanias that require traversal and returning to areas in which you've already been to, these games do not lend themselves to parrying or deflecting even when the games possess such a mechanic. In this case, we're making a slight exception for Hollow Knight Silksong, because Hollow Knight and Silksong as well are just like such awesome metroidvanias and such polished games. Like Studio Cherry, they're at the top of their game. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a Mega Man X fan, and if you guys played Mega Man X, Studio Cherry, they got the jump mechanics for Hollow Knight are like nearly identical for Mega Man, but only the jump mechanic, not the dashing or the attacking, just like the jump. It's like almost nearly directly ripped from Mega Man X. And when I say ripped, I mean like the devs painstakingly, went through the trouble of making the jump in Hollow Knight as identical as possible to the Mega Man X jump. That fact alone should let you know how dedicated Studio Cherry is to making a good game. I just remembered that the melee clash is called pogoing in this game, but I don't know if it's always called pogoing or if it's only called pogo when you attack downwards, when you like jump and attack downwards. So on the fun and enjoyment scale, this game's like an 8 or a 9, but again, this game doesn't belong in parry reviews because it's, even if it has the parry, it's not a parry game. It's a traversal game. It's like Ori and the Will-o'-the-Wisp. Now, because this game happens to have a parry, I'm not gonna put it in awesome review or good review. It's gonna go into parry review just for having a parry. But it's more of a coincidence that there's even a parry in this game, So this game will most likely have updates, the same as they did for Hollow Knight, But I gotta tell you why these Metroidvania games, why they don't bode well in parry reviews, and it's because replayability. Once you get very familiar with Hollow Knight, because initially you get lost in these games, it's like a labyrinth. And I remember the first time I played Hollow Knight, I was just so lost that I didn't like it initially, but the game grows on you. It's so hard, you know? It's such a difficult game that it gets you addicted just from how difficult it is. So initially you're like a lost little lamb getting lost in the labyrinth of Hollow Knight, but then once you, and I see this a lot in speedrunning, once you know where you are, you don't need the maps anymore. And even though this game has a lot of replayability and speedrunners like to speedrun this game, the DLCs and the updates are very important because you can make this game grow stale very quickly once you like memorize the entire map and you know how to chart routes. So if you're like a casual player, I recommend after you pass this game, do whatever you want, but then once you feel like you're done, let this game rest for a while and then you can replay it after you've let the game settle. If you play this game too much, it's not like Enter the Gungeon where it's a roguelike and it has like a crazy amount of replayability because that's the point of Enter the Gungeon. In Hollow Knight, the map's not really gonna change. The enemies are gonna spawn in the same place when they respawn. And that's not a bad thing, it's just the nature of the game, but I'm just explaining to you why this game it normally wouldn't make it into parry review, even though I've reviewed Metroidvanias before. I kind of made it a point about a few months ago to like not review as many Metroidvanias because they don't mesh well with parry reviews. But again, this game is so good and I've been playing it, you know, these past few days that whatever, I just had to review it and it has a parry, so it makes it into parry review, so there you go. Also, I want to apologize that I have like this one clip. That's all you're gonna see this video, just me putting this clip on repeat because I don't know. I don't feel like spoiling the game or like this clip showcases the parry and the clash, so you know that this is all you're gonna get from me. So if you think this video sucks or whatever, I don't script my videos. I plan to put as little effort as possible. I don't even have 500 subscribers, so why should I, put in that much effort? I don't get paid for this. I do it for free. If eventually I do start getting paid, then you'll see me up the quality of these videos. But for now, this is what you're gonna get. Plus, again, this isn't a parry game. This is a Metroidvania, so, this clip is all you're gonna get. Thanks for watching, take care, and enjoy.